What if I told you that, on the coldest, darkest nights of December, when everyone gathers around the warmth of a fire, there's a chilling melody that lingers in the shadows, just waiting to be heard? Would you dare to listen to it? This is the kind of story you would never want to hear at Christmas, but once you know it, you can't stop wondering if something like it is quietly waiting for you, hidden behind the sparkling lights and laughter of the season. Tonight's tale is about a place forgotten by time, yet always present in the winter's shadows. A village so small it seemed pulled from the pages of a fairy tale, or perhaps from a nightmare. In this village, every Christmas, something strange happened. At the precise hour when the moon began to rise in the sky, and the cold seeped into your bones, a strange choir began to sing. It was a sound no one knew where it came from, but deep down, everyone felt it. Something wasn't right. A choir of voices singing Christmas carols, but with such a haunting harmony that it made your soul freeze. It wasn't a group of children or elderly folks, but something far more disturbing. Spirits that wandered among the living. Spirits of those who, for some reason, hadn't found rest during Christmases long past. This choir was made up of the ghosts of people who had died on Christmas in years gone by, victims of tragedies that had been forgotten by the passage of time. No one knew who they were or what had led them to their tragic end. They only heard their songs, beautiful melodies that, at first, seemed soothing, but upon closer inspection, revealed tales of sorrow, suffering, and betrayal. Each note seemed to vibrate through the walls of the village houses, and each time someone tried to trace the source of the music, they found nothing, just a deeper cold and an oppressive silence. No one dared speak of it openly, but everyone knew that disappearances occurred more often around Christmas. People would vanish as if under some spell, walking out into the snow only to never return. It was said that the voices of the choir called them, that the spirits lured them into the dark woods, where the ice-covered trees hid the secrets of the lost souls. There, in that cursed forest, the lost souls joined the choir, condemned to sing the same tragic songs for eternity. But what no one knew was the true story behind these spirits. It was said that each of those ghosts had a story to tell, a tragedy that marked their life in the past, something so terrible that they couldn't rest in peace. As if they were puppets of a cruel fate, the spirits were forced to relive their final moments, forever condemned to sing about their deaths, about the secrets buried with them. There was one, a young man named Edward, who had died in a fire at the old church while trying to save his little sister. Or Mary, a mother who, after losing her son in a Christmas accident, took her own life from the guilt that haunted her. They all formed part of this macabre choir, united by the pain and tragedy that had touched their lives. As the carols of the choir resonated through the village on Christmas nights, the townspeople felt an eerie weight pressing on their hearts. Some of them tried, in their youth, to unravel the mystery of these spirits, but as they ventured into the forest, the voices grew louder, more urgent, as if warning them to turn back. Others, like the elderly William, always repeated the same warning: never follow the song, never follow the echo. No one quite understood what he meant, but there was something in his eyes that made their skin crawl. One fateful Christmas, a family moved into the village. The Westons, newcomers from the city, knew nothing of the strange tales surrounding the place. They thought it would be the perfect spot for a fresh start, away from the city's bustle and monotony. No one warned them about the choir, as the villagers thought that, like all newcomers, the Westons wouldn't stay long. But the Westons were undeterred, at least at first. During their first December in the house, everything seemed normal. The Christmas tree was decorated with bright lights, and the children, excited, played in the snow. However, when night fell, a strange sound began to seep through the cracks in the windows. At first, they thought it was just the wind, but as it intensified, they began to recognize the melodies of Christmas carols, like a distant echo. The first carol they heard didn't seem strange at all. It was a familiar Christmas song, a bit nostalgic, but pleasant. However, something changed as the melody began to distort. as though it were passing through a storm of wind or water. The soprano's voice turned into an unsettling whisper, and the harmonies became darker. The children, in their innocence, peeked out the window, trying to find the source of the music, but all they saw was the dark forest surrounding the village. No one was swaying the branches of the trees, yet the choir continued to sing, growing louder. That same night, the youngest Weston child, Lily, disappeared. No one saw her leave, but her coat was found on the doorstep, as if she had wandered out in a trance, following the voices. The Westons, terrified, began to search the village for their daughter, asking everyone if they had seen her. No one had any answers. However, those who dared venture into the forest claimed to have heard Lily's voice, joined by other whispers and songs. And so, the Weston family found themselves trapped in a nightmare that would change their lives forever. The story of the Westons is just one among many that have been lost to time. No one knows if Lily was the last to join the choir of Christmas specters, or if she herself became one of the voices still singing from the darkness, trapped in her own tragedy. What is certain is that, from that Christmas on, the choir's song has never ceased to echo through the village. Every time someone dares to approach the forest, whispers can be heard in the distance, like a call, like a warning. If you ever hear their melodies, heed this advice. Do not follow the song. And above all, do not approach the forest, because if you do, you might be the next to join the choir and never return. If you like this story, don't forget to leave a like and share it. Let me know in the comments what you think about these Christmas specters. Would you dare to approach the forest? And if you want to hear more tales like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next stories.